Hello, this is a rolling stock to train simulator tutorial. I'm doing this in Blender 2.79, however this is very much possible in 2.8 and above. It uses the same exporter add-on, just a different link to download it. And I will be providing segments of the video where you can show how to do things in the modern Blender and Blender that I'm using. What you want to make sure you have is you want your model to be textured. You can't just have flat materials, you have to have it textured, and make sure that you have the coupling hooks modeled, but not the actual, what's it called, hook, chains. You don't want the chain, you just want the hook modeled. And with that, let's begin. First, you want to open Steam, and go to where it says Train Simulator Classic, right-click it, click Manage, and Browse Local Files. And this will bring up a window of which has all the Railworks files in it, in the Railworks folder. Here, you want to go to a folder called Source. If you don't have that folder, right-click New, Add Folder, and name it Source with a capital S. Inside Source, you're going to want to name your author, your creator. This is what happens when you press the little box with the little arrow on it and go over there. It's the name of the creator. So for me, that's Fwug. For you, that could be, I don't know, Daniel Jumbleton or Sonic Productions. I don't know. And inside that, you want to create the DLC name. I put all of mine in one, sundry and stuff, or general. But you could have one for like, oh, just this rolling stock, just this pack, whatever. And inside this, you want to make one called Rail Vehicles. I know you're making a lot of folders, I'm sorry. Make sure it's R and V capitalized and Rail Vehicles. In Rail Vehicles, we're going to go into Freight, which, you know, you'll have to make as well. And we're going to add yet another folder, and we're going to call it whatever your rolling stock is. I called it New Folder. We're not making a new folder for TS. We're making LMS Van. And inside this, we're creating, you guessed it, another folder. And this one we're going to call, with a capital T, Textures. Alright, next you want to open up the folder that has your textures that you've actually made. We're going to open these up in whatever software you have. I use Paint.net, you may use Photoshop, you may use GIMP, doesn't matter. Although, if you're using other programs, make sure that you know what you're doing, because I don't. From here, you're going to press File, Save As. We're going to want to copy, oh, that's the wrong folder. Here we go. We're going to want to copy our directory up here by clicking the blank space, and then Control-C, Control-V, and in the textures, and make sure to change this from PNG to DDS, which is a, outdated file format, but it's what TS uses, so that's what we're doing. Up here, where it says Settings, there's going to be so many of these. But make sure you have B8G8 R8A8, Linear A8 R8 G8 B8. I don't know what this does, but I know it works. Make sure Generate Bitmaps is also ticked. Okay, and do the same for the other texture, or however many textures you may have. Although it's good advice to limit your textures to only a few. Now what we're going to do is A, to select everything, and Control-C to copy, and we're going to make a new blend file with our rolling stock in it, and we're going to save it in our Railworks directory in the rolling stock folder that we made, the LMS Van. So LMS Van. It should be known that when you press 1 to go to the front view on your numpad, that's actually the back in Railworks. If you go to the side view here, this is the front and that is the back. So if you have something that's non-symmetrical like this van, make sure you rotate it around 180 degrees. But for me, this works. From here, we're going to want to install a Blender add-on. This add-on is called Briage, and it's what you need to export stuff from Blender to TS. As you can see, there are 3 download links here. Boop, boop, boop. and you have to click which one applies to your Blender. From there, you'll get a zip file from where you can go to user preferences, and you can press, if you go to add-ons, you can go install add-on from file, and then you can click the zip file, and then from there you have to tick the little checkbox right next to it, and it will be installed. Hey gang, it's me, October from 1.5 years in the future. Briage changed in the time it took me to edit this, which is way too long, and so I'm going to fix this area of the video. In user preferences here, underneath this little thing where we search Briage, and it's here, there's a little thing that says TS install directory. What we're going to do is go to Steam, right-click Train Simulator Classic, manage, browse local files. To bring up our Railworks folder, so we're going to copy this directory up here where it says Railworks. Just going to copy all of this, Control-C, go back to Blender, and press this little folder icon, and then paste it up there, and then press Accept, and then press Save User Settings. Okay, now we have our add-on fully installed. Now we're going to add a material. This is pretty much assigning a texture that we made to our model, and so TS can recognize it and use it in-game. So, on our material tab right here, we have our thing called body, and we scroll down until we see the thing that says IGS options. There it went, IGS options. We're going to open that, and you're going to get this little area. This looks really intimidating, but trust me, this is actually easy. Where it says add a text, we're going to change that to, oh, well, there's a lot of them here. Pretty much, there's lots of different kinds of materials and textures that Train Simulator Classic can use. But what I'm going to be teaching today is pretty much the most basic one, where you just use a flat texture on a model, and it's called text diff. You can research these other ones, but this is the one I'm going to be teaching today, text diff. If I just make this a little bigger, you can see slots needed 1. What that means is we're going to go to this little napkin looking thing, this little checkerboard, and we're going to press new, open, and then we're going to find our body texture and put it there, and that's all we need to do to assign a texture to a model for Train Simulator Classic. And then you do the same for every other material that you have on the model. If you're doing this in Blender 2.8 or above, we want to scroll down to here to where we find IGS options. For where we typed in trdiff, here it's just there. It is called text diff here, and you just want to select it from there, and then you can open the texture file. And this is looking good. Now we can go File, Export, IGS, and we're going to save it as, I'm just going to call it van.igs, and export. So can you see a little bar up here, and then once it gets to 100%, we're good. Nice. In the Railworks directory, one of the first things you see is Blueprint Editor 2. You want to open that .exe file up, and we find this. This is where you make stuff in TS. This is where it all comes together. If there was an equivalent for config editing and Train Simulator, it's this. We're going to navigate all the way down until we find our folder, LMS van, and we're going to right click, add new item. We're going to go to Blueprint and scroll down until we find Wagon Blueprint. We're going to name it. We're going to name it LMS van. Alright, whole bunch of stuff right here. First, this is a name. We're going to have to put our name in like twice here. Fwug LMS van. And then display name right here. And if you want to translate it, you can. You don't have to. Alright. Rail vehicle component. Here's where it gets a little weird. Alright. In Blueprint Editor, where it says front coupling pivot, you want to go into Blender and find on our coupling hook where the coupling would origin from. Like, usually there's a little hole here. On this model there isn't. So I'm just going to put my 3D cursor right there, left click. And then on this side, which I got by pressing N, we're going to go to 3D cursor and copy our Y value, Control C. We're going to go into Blueprint Editor, and here on 2, 3, right on this one, Control V. we're also going to get our Z value and do the same on 1, 3 right here. And we're going to do the same for this one over here on the back. The Y shall be this one with the negative in there as well. And the Z can go right there. And now the receiving point is pretty much the same thing, except instead of the origin, it's where it goes in the hook. So like around right there. So let's do the same for this, that one, and then this one. And also, this is a trick to get, so the Z is the back and forth. So you can just, and then we're gonna go over here and do the same. And now, the mass. I think this one's 12 ton. I think. I didn't model this van, my friend did, but I think it's a 12-ton van. Alright, if this is standard gauge, then the Y on both of the front and back pivot, I'm just gonna double check, yeah, should be 1. Now, front pivot X, we're gonna find by doing something that you might not usually do. We're going to get the measuring tool, which is in this menu, and if you're in 2.8 and above, I think it's on the toolbar. And we're going to go from the front of the buffer to the center, the blue line. And that is 2.944. And we're going to do... Oh, sorry. And we're going to do the same with the back. Can I move this? Yes, I can. I guess this is off center. God damn you, Mac. I'm evil. And that's gonna be, I think that's negative. I think we have to make that negative. If I'm right? Yes, we do. Alright, 3.020. So, negative 3.02. Next thing I'm going to do here is collision length, which for that, we want to go from buffer beam to buffer beam. Not the buffers themselves, just the buffer beams. So for me, it's 5.1147. To get collision height, we're going to go from the top of our piece of rolling stock to the running board, and that's 2.293. We're going to set collision width to 2, and we're going to set collision center Y, hold on, let me double check that I got it right, that I'm getting this right, yes, to 1.5, 1.38, this is where your camera is going to be, so just, yeah. To get collision center X, usually, if you are properly centered, it's going to be 0. However, if you're like this model and it's a bit off-center, then measure from buffer beam to buffer beam, find the center of this little square right here, and then from there, go down, from the center of it, go downwards. Straight down, and then measure how far that is from the center point. So for me, it's 0.044. We're going to go to render component now, just for a little bit, and where it says geometry ID, you're going to want to grab the IGS file, Control C, and then Control V and Control V, right, these two. Now we're going to go over here to bogie, add element. A bogie blueprint, but we don't have a bogie blueprint, you might say. And this is where we go right click, add new item. We're gonna add a bogie blueprint. We're gonna name it LMS fan bogey. Alright, now, first off, wheel radius. We're going to go into Blender and grab our ruler once again and go from the outside of the wheel to the inside, you know, the radius. We get 0.5133. 0.5133. Wheel gauge, we want it to be standard gauge in this case, and that's 1.435. Just copying it from my other stuff. Now, for our axles, let's add 2 axles, because we have 2 axles. And we're going to copy this radius into there. Now for horizontal offset, that's right, we have to go in here, and then for the horizontal offset, we are going to go into our wheel, and we're just going to put our cursor there, and then our Y value on our cursor is where it is. So this one is positive, and then this one is negative, if I remember correctly, and I should. Alright, and now for the node ID, we're going to want to go into this, and then right, it's here, it's called cylinder .013. We're just going to copy that and put it there. Same for the back one, cylinder 017. Copy that, put that right there. And that's the bogey done. So now we can go back into our main blueprint. And we are going to grab it. So hold on, there it is. Copy, and then press the bogey blueprint and Control V, and it sets all this stuff for us. Now, before we move on, I'm going to direct your attention to 2 downloads in the description. One of them goes to this website, Train Simulator Developer Documentation, where they have a download section. And in the zip file that it gives you, hold on, let me just open it up and find it. Yep, here it is. There's a whole bunch of different, example files for you to use. And one of them being audio. We're going to find the audio one. We're going to rail vehicles, wagons. So what we're going to do is grab, I'm sorry, I'm bad at this. Grab that. Grab this, go into rail vehicles, and here we're just gonna, actually no, we're going to go into your DLC folder, take the audio, and drag it in. This stuff is useful to check out yourself, but this is what we're going to be using right now. I'm also going to link some couplings in the description that you can use. These are 3-chain couplings, and you're gonna extract those in rail vehicles, and you're gonna put them right here. All right. Now we're gonna go in here. We're gonna go down. And we're going to go to this container component, children. Add element. We're going to name it, the capital S, sounds. We're going to close that. We're going to go here, go to audio. Rail vehicles, wagons. Wagon generic sound. These seem like the same thing, but I'm going to grab this one. Control C, Control V. And that should... Actually, no, I had to put it in here. Sorry. Blueprint ID. There we go. And there we go. I just Control V'd it in there. And that should be that. And then up here, for the front coupling blueprint ID, we're going to close audio. We're going to go couplings, 3-link, chain, front coupling ID. We're going to click this one, Control C, Control V. And we're going to do the same thing here. And I think that should be good. I'm going to press this little export with references button, and let it do its thing. Alright, time taken, export succeeded, that's good to see. And now we have to open TS. You can't open TS before doing so, because then it won't recognize there's a new wagon in the game, and it'll be like, oh, what are you talking about? So we're gonna open it up now. There you go. Alright, I've opened up a little test route here. I'm in scenario editor. I've clicked the little train icon. If you press the little blue square with the triangle and scroll down to your username, mine's Plug, and tick your box, it should show up in the list of things, and it does. Look at that. Wowie zowie. I'm just gonna add an engine to make sure that it's all, oh shoot, all swaggerlicious. I'll add a driver, and let's see if it works. Alright, as we can see, the couplings have been added in the right spots. So now let's just see if Thomas can couple up. Let's get a smooth coupling. Now this is an issue that can happen. I'll explain how to fix it in a sec, but otherwise, it seems like this is fully functional and operational. Yeah. See if it gives a little bump. Yeah, perfect. To fix the error of the wheels spinning the wrong way around, you want to click the wheels and Control A, rotation. Control A, rotation. And then we just want to right click, export, IGS, van.igs. And want to go into blueprint editor and re-export the van. There we go. And then if we replay the scenario, the wheels should be fine. Once it says export succeeded, just quit and replay the scenario. Alright, now let's see if it rolls right. Yeah! And that's how you do rolling stock in TS. If this helped, let me know. And yeah.
Okay.
Alright, you've heard of Kerbal Space Program. Let's see what Edward's Space Program is like.
Edward's Space Program.
Epilepsy warning. Epilepsy warning. Where's it gone?
Turn around.
Oh, there
it is.
Oh, alright. Anyway. Fuck.
Epilepsy warning.
Anyway, to infinity and beyond. Way! Gone. Reduced
gone
to
forever.
atoms.
Streams of flooding New York D. Rest in peace, Toby.
Are we gonna reach the ground? Are we gonna reach the ground? Come on.